My name is Vendula Chiznakova. I'm the Group CFO for Home Credit International. Home Credit is just to give you the background, multinational company. In our portfolios, we have financial services, we have banks, we are present in Europe and in Asia. So if I'm talking about our business and how the project started, I'm talking about a very fast business, very dynamic markets, especially if you think about Asia, highly competitive, and on top of that, different time zones. So the speed and the flexibility is key for our decision makings.
If I can imagine, you have over a dozen countries when we started with the project, right? And there was like every country has probably different systems and different user groups, if I may clients. What was the problem that you tried to solve, and why did you try to solve it, and why was it so difficult before?
As you rightly said, we had different countries, different time zones, and also different data structures. So for me, as I explained, the speed is critical and I need to have instant data at hand. So before it was requesting the data, waiting for the emails and sorting and consolidating data together. What was a great help with our project is that we had all data in a structured way, in one place online, available at hand anytime I need, not when the team wakes up on the other side of the world. And on top of that, I know that I have a complete set of data. So what was happening before that not always we had, or always we had the good news available in the reports, not always the issues.
The challenging issues.
And the challenges. So with that, right now I know I have all complete information at hand and I can drill deep in the history with the data.
And can I ask you, we've been working on this together for over 2 years, if I remember correctly. And as you said, like back then you had different systems in every country. Somewhere it was Hadoop, Oracles, a lot of Azure technologies. And I still why was it so hard to put it together, in one place and have it all the time? Before you met Keboola? Back
then, we were in the situation, we had a choice. We knew we wanted to automate the management reporting, and we were thinking what are the best ways. So the first option was to go with a well-known, robust company and build a big solution, which would save all the questions. Or we can find and partner with a startup and go with a light model to give us more flexibility and test new modern technologies there. And that's how our partnership started in 2 years, or maybe even more than 2 years ago. And I have to say I'm very happy with the outcome. In the meanwhile, we built very good architecture and we see and we harvest all the benefits right now.
Thank you, it's really lovely, and we've been really blessed with your vote of confidence, because as you rightly pointed, for every startup, it's like there are some crucial points in the life of every company, and getting the vote of confidence from such a large international company as Home Credit has been really transformative for us. We started to deploy globally to large companies like Burger King Group or large banks, and so it was really transformative for us as well. Thank you. Can I ask you, you said that there was a big problem before. You had to wait, people manually, they didn't give you bad news. Did you have any, before you started the project, did you have a business case how big of the problem it was? Did you have some assumption how much money you are losing in any way, and maybe how many people were involved in doing it manually before?
We didn't have a business case as such, but we knew how many people were doing data crunching. By data crunching, I don't mean the analytics and the value-adding activities, but just working with the spreadsheets, linking and providing the reports. And there were hundreds of them globally. So this was definitely an area where we wanted to focus. We started with consolidating the teams and the tasks to put it in one center of excellence in each of the business and at the headquarters as well. And then we started to automate things. And I can share with you that at the beginning, I was not able to see the ultimate state where it brings us and how big potential is in there. But so we went step by step and we are now rolling it out to all of our countries in this standard format.
This is really interesting what you say. I think the incremental part, right? But like when you don't start with just incremental, did you start with saying like just try this, or did you have an outcome in mind and you incrementally worked towards that?
So for us, we started at the group, and my primary goal was the fact-based decision making. So originally it was not a cost-saving project, it was data governance and availability of the information. The automation and ultimately the headcount saving or the redistribution of the capacities to a higher value tasks happened as we went through the process.
And this is like a lot of times people are afraid that you said there was hundreds of people globally crunching the data, preparing that. And you could say that, like one of our taglines that we said, Keboola, we automate cognitive tasks, which was this use case, right? And what happened to those hundreds of people?
In most of the cases, the teams focused on, I keep repeating the value-added task, but really the analytics and the deep dives. So they did not spend time anymore with, as I said, linking the spreadsheets, but really analyzing the data and coming up with business recommendations and solutions. So not only it gives you better information, but it also increased the engagement of the people because they enjoy the work more.
So is it fair to say that you actually took hundreds of people who were cost center and you actually turned them by this automation into a profit center because they were able to focus on how to make more money for HomeCredit?
I'm not sure you can go that far because they were not still selling and they are not still selling, and that's how you make money. But it definitely is a higher level of the business support.
How did your life, like daily life, change as a CFO, right? Like you mentioned that there was people gave you before the project, they gave you good news, but you had to probably search for bad news. I wonder how many times a month you would not find such a bad news, and how did it change after the project and automation of the CFO intelligence? How did it change how you operate on daily schedule? Is it possible to say?
For me, the biggest benefit is the data availability, instant data and different level of detail. So if I need a management report for a board meeting, I stay at the high level. If I want to go deep in certain topic, I can drill down through the numbers. And then second is the instant data. So I don't need to wait for the monthly closing at the country, but if we have daily sales available daily in the country, we get the data
across the whole globe. You are a financial institution, right? As you said, you have several types of financial institutions under HomeCredit arm. When you were selecting the technology, was the governance and security part of that, or how did you think about it? Because you can essentially do things many ways, right? But you as a licensed company are under stricter requirements, and the requirements are different in every part of the world, if I imagine.
We spent a lot of time on the governance and making sure the data is secured and the data flow and the access management is at the top level. So this is what we did from the beginning. As you said, we are regulated entities, we have strict data protection rules, and we have financial information that are internal only. So all of that was part of the project.
Thank you. And we talked before in preparation. I asked you if you can quantify the effects. Do you forecast better, or did you do some major savings, or what is the dollar effect? You said that you couldn't see all the ripple effects, right? So do you have quantified results?
So a part of the higher quality, consistency, and instant data, I could estimate what is the time of the manual effort saved. If I talk only for our HQ here in Prague, I can easily say 25% of the reporting effort is now automated.
That's awesome. Thank you. And if you imagine that there is some other CFO who is in the similar situation as you were before, what would you recommend her? To kind of think about how to have a framework of how to think about how to implement the change. What should be the end goal? How to do change management? How to select the technology? If to go with the large vendor or if to go with light touch startup. What is it kind of like? If I can ask you, imagine you are 2 years back, knowing what you know now, and just looking at you through the glass,
run away.
Hope not.
No. So definitely my first recommendation is be clear what you want. You need to have the vision where you go with the reporting. The tool, sorry to Keboola, will not do it for you.
No.
So you have to be very clear what you want and you design it in steps. Probably my second recommendation would be just be courageous, because everything can be automated and the potential is endless. As I said before, I could not think through all the steps and events and metrics that can be put through the systems and automated.
Do you have some examples of those? Because this is very interesting. I thought about something, I didn't see the other things. So do you have some examples of the thing that surprised you as the result of the project?
I would not say surprised me, but we went step by step further and further. So it was not one project which is done in a couple of months, but as we went through, we said this would be good to automate. And we could do, for example, all our investors' presentations are now automated. All our board reports are now automated. So we saw more and more potential where we can deploy. Our reconciliations are automated.
That is big, the reconciliation. Okay. And does it stays only with the CFO department? Or does the work that you did in this project trickle down to other departments? Did they become users of the data?
That's a very good point, actually. It goes across the whole company. And the other functions are not only users, but they're also providers of the data. So maybe another recommendation is to take the time and do the data cleanup and the definition and the consistency on the input side. So it goes from finance, risk function, HR, IT. We really deployed the automation everywhere.
Thank you. This is really encouraging, I think, for anybody who is listening to this. Because many times we come to large companies and they say, and it's kind of my last question, they say, well, yeah, it's easy. You show me these examples of companies who are other startups and they started on the greenfield. But here you're saying, if I may take the liberty, we've been around for many years. We are a large company. We had over a dozen, different implementations around the world, different technical architecture. So we didn't start at the green, green grass, or we'd say, but still we were able to layer up on top of that Keboola, automate all of these things, and provide immense value to all of the departments. Is it correct?
I think it's correct, and it's consistent across all the functions. So when we have our global exco meetings, we open the reports, so everyone sees the same, even the CEOs in the countries and us at the group level.
So when other CFOs will think about starting with Keboola, should they be afraid that they are a large and old company with many different systems, or should they just say, yeah, that's gonna be easy?
I wouldn't say that it's gonna be easy. It's a lot of work, to be honest. But I would suggest start in a well-defined smaller area and keep adding on as you go.
I think this is a big change, right? How to do IT projects, essentially. Because many years ago you had to plan the whole project and then start delivering. If something changed, you couldn't just do it.
Start all over again.
Yes, exactly. Oh, what did we deliver? But basically what you're saying, it's now able to start in iterative ways, right? And add on and just get to the result.
This is our experience.
can I ask you to say it in your own words? So then, like I don't say it myself. Like that it's possible to start, like in the large enterprise with small projects and get to the result.
So our experience with the implementation is that we start in a smaller area, and as we deploy and we learn, we keep adding new functionalities and new parameters.
So no big project, no big bang.
In our experience, we didn't need a big project.
That's awesome.
But we do it continuously, so we do it until now. Keep adding.
And can I ask you, is there something that I should have asked you about your experience before, after with working with Keboola or metrics and results, and I didn't ask? Is there something else you should ask this and you didn't?
Do you want a discount?
That's a good question. Of course, always I want a discount.
No, do I want a discount?
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you say that it provides so much value, so are you ready to upsell? No, seriously, is there anything I forgot about?
Not sure. What do you mean specifically?
Sometimes I get so carried away in one area that I forgot to ask about something and the other person is like, you should ask me about this.
Yeah, you mean here? I thought at the beginning of the project.
No.
I was not sure. I think we covered most of it.
So I have one last question. Now, last 12 months have been really transformative. With the really kind of like a light bulb moment for AI. We've been talking about it for years and years, but with the openness of ChatGPT, this is not the end, but it can open the new opportunities. How do you think about that when you are looking as a group forward? How do you think, what is it gonna change for your clients? How are your clients gonna change? And how do you need to address the change? Where do you see opportunities and where do you see threats?
When I think about AI, I will talk about my internal clients, which is the departments and the group structure. I see both potential and threats in AI, and what we are currently looking into the processes, the ways we operate, where we can leverage AI. So is it in the documentation? Is it in the modeling? Is it in the forecasting? So I think there is a lot of work ahead of us, and we need to keep testing and learning to fully leverage.
Yeah. And you've been, as you said, the project has been widely successful, and you decided actually to take it, what you've learned, package it, and together with Keboola to actually implement it with other clients, which is very interesting. Why, if I may be so brave to ask, why do you do that? And what is your plans with that within 2 years?
It originally started the other way around. It originally started at our other companies, at our group. They saw what we did and they liked it. So that's the easiest way how to offer the product. And as we introduced it and piloted with a couple of the organizations at our group, then we see more potential for cooperation. So we now continue in explaining and offering this service and product across the group.
This is always good, right? Like when you build something and others come like, oh, I really like what you built. Can I have it as well? So that's beautiful. Okay, so Vendula, thank you for your time. I don't have any more questions. Really, thanks. I could literally spend hours, asking more about daily, how it changed. How did you react thanks to the data on the situations from last 2 years? That might be maybe interesting if you want to talk about it. We work for Innogy, in an energy company, and they actually say that thanks to our project together, they were able to predict the prices of energy on a daily basis, and like make and save a lot of money during the Ukraine war crisis energy. Do you have any moment like that in the last 2 years that you would want to highlight?
I think for this would be more the experience of the operating entities. So when you're in the business and you're working with the customers and providing the best service and the best product to the customers. And there I believe it's heavily used not only for the forecasting, but also for the daily monitoring and reacting immediately on the events of the market, change in demand, maybe increase of productivity in certain areas. Many examples like this.
So you can literally react, if I understand correctly, you can react now very fast and see the change in behavior networks and can adapt very fast to change your offering, change your attitude, maybe cost structure, and you don't have to wait months or weeks. So at the end, you save more money because you are faster, and you make more money because you can be more agile, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's the best result ever, right? Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.